Hello artists, and welcome to lesson 11 of Draw and Paint for Life. Hope everybody's looking forward to the holiday break and lots of really wonderful time with your family. So we are looking today at this. This is actually called a fine point Sharpie. I call it a medium point. Here's what the point looks like, okay? Let's pull it up. Can you see that? This is called the ultra fine point, which is one of my favorite drawing instruments in the entire world. And you can see that it's actually much smaller. So we've already looked at this one, and we're gonna look at this one. And just to review a little bit, this is what the fine tip looks like. It's pretty fine. But I know a lot of you like to use it when we use the tracing paper, okay? And it absorbs, making the line a little bit thicker. This is what the fine point looks like. I call it the medium point. Nice big thicker line. And I would encourage you to use both of them when you trace. So just some of the things that you can do with a medium point Sharpie. It makes nice big dots. And they call that stippling. You just let it tap the surface, okay? Nice big thick lines. Fills in a lot of space much more quickly, which is really fun, and I think you already know that. In terms of, say for instance, this week we're looking at cakes. So you've got an oval and an oval. Right? So maybe we would do some cross hatching on the cake just to make it look like maybe it had, frosting on the side, and then maybe put a plate underneath it. So it just makes a bigger, thicker line. And then if we put some candles on the top, can make the flame. This big circle there. And then some smaller dots to indicate the light coming from the candles. Okay? And you can also use it to fill in a little bit more deeply. Let's look at something that might be a little bit more fun. Got some water and a brush. Love those round brushes. Let's see what happens when we take some paint. Just lay it on the paper. This is kind of this looks like a phthalo blue to me. What would happen if we took this, we just played with it a little bit? You can make lines through the paint with the marker, and what happens, to tell you the truth though, is that it almost clogs the marker, but you don't need to worry about that. And rips the paper a little bit, even though it's watercolor paper. And it has kind of like a ragged look to it when you're working a marker into wet paint. So there aren't like it doesn't really come up with like a look that to me feels kind of worthwhile or interesting, although it does kind of tear and texturize the paper, which you might find interesting. All right. You should know, though, too, that when you make something with marker, you can go in and put paint right over it, and it's not going to move. Okay? It's going to stay right where it is, and maybe that's something that you want to do, is make a drawing, and then color it in, knowing that the lines are not going to move on you. Okay? So I hope that feels nice and exciting. Once you've put the marker through water, it takes a while for the ink to start to flow again. But it does. And you'll notice a change in the color that's coming off of it because essentially the watercolor saturates the tip of the marker. So if you just keep playing with it, it'll go back to its regular black. So it's a super versatile tool. I mean, it's pretty much the workhorse of our art kit. I use it a lot in tracing. If you can find more ways to push the medium and to do interesting things with it without opening it, of course, I would love to see it. Would love to see it. In the meantime, keep using it to make beautiful, bold, interesting lines, cross-hatching, and stippling. All right, children, see you in class. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.